Hello, this is Purple Rosa, and I'm continuing on in Elsweyr. And we just killed Euraxia Tharn in the last one. And we heard from her before we did so, when she was talking to Mulan Mir, the blue dragon, that they planned something at the Moon Gate, which is down here. And now we have to go talk to Tharn to look into that more. But Garesh mentioned that he's worried about Tharn, and he might be hiding his true feelings about his sister's death, which is Euraxia. So yeah, we will have to tread carefully and see how he feels. Ooh! Necromancers, a report for the Queen. Your Royal Majesty, aligning myself with you has proven fruitful for both of us. You get an unyielding army of undead at your disposal, while I get an unlimited supply of bodies with which to practice my craft. If only some other visionary ruler had thought to employ my services sooner. Think how far the dark arts could have been progressed. With corpses aplenty and Euraxian mercenaries to command, we have assembled a number of cadaver forges where we can raise and store the undead. Unfortunately, even such sites as the Scar and the Necropolis cannot contain all the bodies we need to create the massive army you imagine. We need more prisoners to feed into our forges. My followers eagerly await the next shipment and are ready to process them immediately. Also, I happily report that the search for the betrayer's body parts continues apace. We should have all the component pieces necessary to reconstruct the betrayer very soon. I reiterate that the betrayer is the key to maintaining the security and continued support of the dragons. One more thing. Have you issued the order yet to take care of that problem I discovered hiding in the wilderness? Mulan Mir and his brethren will be much more cooperative, I assure you, once your assassination squad deals with such a minor, though annoying threat. Zumong Foom, Lord of the Dark Arts. This problem. I wonder what that refers to. Something about assassinations. And the betrayers needed to keep the alliance with the dragons? Now I'm interested to what that would mean. Okay, we'll talk to Tharn.
When you look at the world as lines on a map, it all seems so small and insignificant. I was trying to determine the meaning of this document, but so far the secret eludes me.
I came to offer my help. Did you find out anything about Euraxia's final order?
I found a letter, but it's not complete. Looks like a scribe's dictation. I've been searching for more, but I haven't made much progress through the royal stacks. With your help, perhaps the search will go more quickly.
Tell me about the dictated letter you found.
It alludes to an order Euraxia was preparing to deliver shortly before our assault on the palace. It mentions a Captain S, the Cygnus Irregulars, and a favour for the dragons, but gives no indication as to who they are or what the favour might be.
Here we go. About your half-sister.
We did what had to be done. Think no more about it. If you hadn't ended Euraxia, I certainly would have. Now, look around and see if you can find anything pertaining to this unfinished letter. I'm sure it refers to Euraxia's final order.
Doesn't sound like he really cares much, but he could be hiding his true feelings. I know he and his half-sister didn't get along, but they're still brother and sister. I'll see what I can find.
This study contains documents from when the Khajiit ruled Rimmon, as well as papers that cover the span of Euraxia's rule. So many papers. She was a prolific writer, I'll give her that. At least she didn't destroy her files before she died.
What should I be looking for again?
Anything pertaining to this so-called final order. While we're looking around, let's see if we can find anything that mentions the dragons, the necromancers, or anything significant. Who knows? We might uncover something unexpectedly helpful.
Yes, we might. Because this is the Royal Library, I think it was. Captain's letter. Your Royal Majesty, my trained squad of elite assassins is ready to perform whatever services you require. However, since my assassins are few in number, it should be prudent to provide us with support in the form of auxiliary troops. If I may be so bold, I suggest granting me the authority to commandeer soldiers from the Cygnus Irregulars. I need to stop at Sandswell Manor anyway to collect Prefect Kalo's report on the last Dragon Guard. Besides, any chance to stick a knife in that haughty Imperial always appeals to me. He considers my mercenaries to be inferior to his troops, and I hate him for that.
Captain Sorlinia, that must be Captain S. And the Cygnus Irregulars are Imperial troops under the command of Prefect Kalo at Sandswell Manor.
Huh. Okay, let's look at this other clue. Oh, Euraxia's personal journal. This should be juicy. Khajiit myths and legends continue to intrigue me. After all, it was the stories of Kunzari as told by the Moon Singers that led me to the Raststone and allowed me to trick my half-brother into releasing the dragons from the halls of Colossus. I wonder what else might be waiting for me in the remaining tales of Kunzari. Certainly the significance of the betrayer whose disgusting head follows my chief necromancer around like a sad little puppy. He came to us from those legends and the need for the Moon Gate, though I must admit, at least here in my private notes, that a complete understanding of the metaphysics behind it all still eludes me. Meanwhile, I understand that our investigation into the rumours of a last surviving member of the Dragon Guard here in Elsweyr have finally come to fruition. We can eliminate this potential threat and show Calgrontid the true value of our partnership. I look forward to studying Prefect Kalo's report in greater depths, if the Infernal Man ever agrees to send it to me. So the Dragon Guard, I think, was Kunzari's group of heroes. So if there's a Dragon Guard still alive, they can help us defeat the dragons, maybe.
Old Khajiit legends and rumors of a last Dragon Guard. Intriguing.
That it is. Dragons, a report for the Queen. To Her Exalted Majesty Queen Euraxia, this report surmises my conclusions concerning the dragons that have made their presence known throughout northern Elsweyr. The dragon that calls himself Mulanmir defers to an even more powerful creature known as Calgrontid. Mulanmir is the blue dragon that we've talked to, and Calgrontid is the green dragon that is their leader. He has provided dragons to support our efforts against the Khajiit rebels. These massive beasts have been instrumental in many of our victories, just as you predicted. If only we could convince Mulanmir to lend us more than a single creature at a time, we could retake control of the entire region. Unfortunately, the dragons seem incapable or willing to discern a difference between our troops and the enemy. They take no care to avoid friendly casualties and seem to revel in destruction, no matter the target. I fear our control of these creatures is haphazard at best. My recommendation follows. Order Mulanmir to instruct the dragons to obey the chain of command. Weapons work best when we can maintain complete control over their actions. Also, we must perform a service for the dragons to seal our alliance. I suggest we send an assassination squad to eliminate the last dragon guard, believed to be hiding in the Elsweyr wilderness. So this is what that Zumong Foom note we read before mentioned, something in the wilderness that they want to kill with the hired assassins, which is the last dragon guard. So yeah, that's interesting.
Control dragons? What folly. But what was that about killing the last dragon guard? I think you found everything I need to fill in the blanks. Let's talk.
Yes, I think I've already filled in those blanks.
The documents you uncovered allow me to make sense of this unfinished dictation. I believe I now know the contents of Euraxia's final order.
So what was Euraxia's final order?
Euraxia ordered Captain Solinia to assassinate a dragon guard in an effort to appease the dragons. Solinia plans to commandeer as many additional soldiers as necessary from Prefect Kalo at Sandswell Manor and retrieve a report.
Dragon Guard? I don't understand.
Neither do I, at least not fully. The Dragon Guard were the sworn protectors of the Imperial Emperor. At least they were until they fell out of favor. Euraxia has ordered her assassins to murder what she claims to be the last Dragon Guard.
Okay, so the last Dragon Guard?
Don't ask me. The Dragon Guard I knew failed to protect the potentates and were disbanded in disgrace. They claimed to have descended from legendary Akaviri dragon hunters. But that's all it was. A legend. We need to get to Sandswell Manor.
So if this last Dragon Guard is truly a descendant from Akaviri dragon hunters, it would be invaluable to get to them before the assassins, because their help will be greatly needed for the dragons. I'll head to Sandswell Manor and find Prefect Kalo as soon as I can.
We can't take any chances. Euraxia's final order directs her assassins to murder the last Dragon Guard. If the dragons consider this threat real, we need it on our side. Meet me west of the city, on the outskirts of Sandswell Manor.
Do you know anything about Captain Solinia or Prefect Kalo?
Kalo is mentioned in Garesh Ree's intelligence reports. He commands a garrison of troops in an estate seized when they conquered the region. As for Solinia, I've never heard of her. But an assassination squad, they're never a good thing.
Nope. So Sandswell Manor's just outside here. I did check out that place briefly once before. So yeah, let's head over there now.
Are the people of Rimmon cowards?
They're just afraid, Chimera. Remember, the dragons still darken the skies overhead.
But we need to replenish our forces. I fear there are more battles ahead.
You carry the weight of the kingdom, Chimera, but the crown is not yet yours.
Yes, yes. I must be recognized by the Main and Queen Eren. Which reminds me, has the Dominion sent us any aid?
A few advisors, some gold, but no troops. We are on our own.
Yep. Seems like Eren only cares about the war in Cyrodiil.
Give me good news, Five Claw. I could use some right about now.
Euraxia's final order, she sent an assassination squad to kill the last Dragon Guard.
Dragon Guard? I leave this investigation to you and Tharn. Garesh Ree and I need to figure out how to bolster our defenses and prepare our forces. He even wants to send troops to defend the moon gate of Anequina.
I heard you talking. The old married Dominion really isn't sending any troops.
Unfortunately, we are only a small part of Queen Eren's domain. She sent us advisors and gold to purchase weapons and mercenaries, but her troops are committed to the Alliance war. I will convince my people to join the militia. I have to.
Still, Eren could at least send some soldiers to help.
Chimera and I must work to win the hearts and minds of the people of Rimmon. And I still need to discover the significance of the Moon Gate of Enequina. Perhaps I'll send some troops to defend the place. Just in case.
You should. Oh, there's Honor! That's Cadwell's pet. So where's Cadwell then? Oh, there he is.
I found a set of round orb-like objects sitting on a forgotten shelf here in the palace. They're the perfect shape for juggling. Turns out I'm good at juggling. Who knew? And I find it strangely soothing after all that mayhem and fisticuffs.
Just don't drop them. So he's Zamorak as well?
This one will watch over Queen Chimera. She may not have agreed to let Zamorak resume his post as the King's Claw yet, but she will come around in time. Until then, no harm will befall the Queen. This Zamorak so swears.
I believe you. So yeah, we'll go to Sandswell Manor now. And hopefully find out where this last dragon guard is. What we know about the Akaviri is when they came
You helped the clan mother
to invade, I think some of the Akaviri may have mated with the Imperials, and the children they had have Imperial and Akaviri blood, which is how the Dragon Guard came to be, because they have Akaviri blood. And as Tharn said, the Dragon Guard are descended from Akaviri dragon hunters. So it makes sense that they'd have Akaviri blood. So yeah, this last Dragon Guard will be helpful to help us defeat the dragons in Elsweyr, because they are still a threat. So this is the manor. Get a better view of it. Oh,
An Imperial garrison housed in a Khajiiti estate. My half-sister spared no expense, I see.
she did not. That's actually a pretty view. Tharn overlooking. It's a big manor. I see why she... Oh, it's Imperial style. She must have built it.
Prefect Kalo commands a full complement of soldiers, mostly seasoned Imperials and not the Nibonese mercenaries that make up Euraxia's main forces. It's probable that Sorlinia and her assassination squad is here as well, so I advise caution.
You think we'll have to fight our way in?
I prefer to avoid unnecessary bloodshed, of course, but these are enemy forces. We must do what we must to complete our mission. I'll work my way down from the upper levels of the house. You find your own entrance and we'll meet somewhere inside.
Alright, I'll meet you inside the manor.
Try not to alert the entire garrison to our presence, and keep an eye out for Captain Sorlinia or anything related to Euraxia's final order. We need to determine where the assassination squad plans to strike if we're going to save the Dragon Guard.
Tell me more about the Dragon Guard.
As I said, the Dragon Guard I knew were the Emperor's protectors. I suspect this has more to do with legends that speak of their role as dragon hunters of old. Idle speculation isn't going to accomplish anything. If I were younger...
Your age, is that what's bothering you?
I feel the weight of my years, and it gets worse the longer this goes on. In my younger days, I would have already corralled the dragons and banished the necromancers to a forgotten plane of oblivion. Enough of this. I'll meet you inside.
I hope Tharn does not die at the end of this. But he's getting on. Please don't die, Tharn. So we have to be stealthy. And I aggroed this tiger. Okay, we'll be stealthy.
One of Kalo's pet cats. Time to make me a fur coat.
So find a way inside the manor. Be stealthy. Stealth is what I'm good at. So there's some notes here to read. Captain Solinia's instructions. The garrison previously commanded by Prefect Kalo is now under my control. Due to his refusal to follow the orders handed down to me directly from Queen Euraxia, Prefect Kalo has been found guilty of treason and imprisonment for his insubordination. Effective immediately, all Cygnus irregulars are to support the efforts of the Euraxian troops under my command. Due to this development, the doors to the manor house will be temporarily sealed to serve as a prison and command center for my senior officers. Once Prefect Kalo is transported for sentencing, this restriction will be lifted. If you need access to the manor house during this period, see Lieutenant Talia. For now, this is the only officer who can provide entry to the cellars. From there, you can reach the main levels of the house. Those soldiers selected to join the assassination squad will receive orders shortly pertaining to our mission to find and terminate the last Dragon Guard. So Captain Solinia is in charge. And Kalo is in the dungeons or whatever. So is this the entrance? Can't go in there because I don't have the key. Whoa, was that dragon tongue? Oh, I guess so. So we'll continue to be stealthy. We have to get this key so we can get into the cellar. Here we go. So yeah, let's go in the cellar, which is over this way, because I don't think we can enter the house through the front. But there is a book over here. Maybe not. Might be actually inside the house. So yeah, we'll continue into the cellar. I don't really have to be stealthy because there's other players killing. But we'll have to be stealthy inside. Let's go.
How good of you to join me.
Ooh.
Let's talk.
Where are you?
We need to speak quickly. I doubt I'll remain undiscovered for very long.
You really like to show off your magic, don't you?
This projection, a simple spell. Nothing to it, really. But that's not what I want to discuss. I'm hiding in an empty servant's quarters at the moment. I discovered that Prefect Kalo is no longer in charge here. In fact, he's been arrested.
That's what I read before. Why would the Euraxians arrest one of their own officers?
That's the thing. Prefect Kalo isn't really one of the Euraxians. His cohort of Imperials accompanied my half-sister into Rimmon, but he's been a vocal opponent of her coup and subsequent claim of rulership. Apparently, he refused another order.
Oh, so maybe he could be an ally. Where are they holding Prefect Kalo?
Kalo's probably being held on one of the lower levels. See if you can find him. He should be able to tell us more about the Dragon Guard and Solinia's orders. Wait a moment. I'm about to have company. I'll find my way to you as soon as I can.
All right, I'll try to find Prefect Kalo. Kalo. I'm probably saying it wrong. Some Euraxians. I'm gonna kill him because down with the Euraxians. So I'll loot these trunks while I'm here. Okay, so Kalo could help us. Yeah, love being stealthy. Okay. This is obviously the dining room. Oh no, that's another player. I thought it was a Euraxian. Okay. Oh wow, this is pretty. Cool if they gave us a house like this. So where do we have to go? Try this way.
Interesting. You're not one of Euraxia's mercenaries.
There's Kalo.
I'm Prefect Kalo, commander of the Cygnus Irregulars. And you're that outsider working with the Khajiit militia. I expected you hours ago. Well, let's not dawdle. You have an assassination squad to stop, I assume, so if you'd open my cell?
I still don't know if I can trust you, Kalo. How do you know who I am?
It's elementary. I pay attention to every significant event that occurs in the region. Comes with my job description. I have agents, spies, and informers from Riverhold to Rimmon. The dossier on you could choke a Wamasu. Now, about this door?
First, tell me why they locked you in that cell.
I'm an Imperial without an Emperor. My cohort was assigned to accompany Euraxia on a fact-finding mission. She turned it into a conquest. I tried to temper her more violent tendencies, but her mercenaries outnumber my legionaries by a wide margin.
So, why lock you up now?
I refused a direct order. Wouldn't give Solinia my soldiers or my file on the last Dragon Guard. So, here I am. How about this? You can find a copy of the report in my office. If the information it contains helps you, then come back and set me free.
That's a fair deal, I guess. You seem unusually willing to cooperate with an ally of the rightful Khajiit queen.
I'm a reasonable man. I have no great love for this land, but neither do I want to see it destroyed. Dragons were the last straw. In other words, this is me making a stand. You can find a copy of the Dragon Guard report in my office upstairs.
I want to trust him, but I still don't know if we can. Tell me about Captain Solinia.
She burst into my office with orders from Euraxia, demanded I provide soldiers to support her assassination squad, then commanded that I turn over my file on this so-called last Dragon Guard. I politely refused both requests, and she had me arrested.
What's an assassination squad?
An elite unit of mercenaries. They're rabid dogs that Euraxia points at her enemies. They like to kill, and they're extremely good at it. With the urging of the dragons, she pointed them at their current target, the so-called Last Dragon Guard.
That was Euraxia's final order. She issued it right before I killed her.
Well, that puts a new spin on the situation. Solenia took my file. Then she and her soldiers went to assassinate the supposed Last Dragon Guard to appease Euraxia's dragon allies. There's a copy of the file in my office, but I suggest you hurry.
So Euraxia wasn't sent to conquer Rimmon?
Conquer Rimmon? Euraxia was sent on imperial business to a province that owed us fealty. There was no reason to conquer a place we historically controlled. No. She decided to make her own play for power while Emperor Varen was otherwise engaged.
Yeah. And you went along with that?
It was complicated. Look, our quick visit turned into an invasion. Euraxia contracted an army of Nibonese mercenaries to back her up. And then the Emperor disappeared and his empire collapsed. We were stuck here without orders or assistance.
Huh. Still, she didn't have to do what she did. What can you tell me about the Dragon Guard?
Not much. I never got around to reviewing the report. You can read it yourself in my office. For some reason, this rumor of a Last Dragon Guard inspired Euraxia's ire. Maybe because the legends say they were once renowned dragon hunters?
Yeah. Okay, so I want to trust him. He seems like he wants us to help, but I'm still a bit cautious. But he could be a good ally. We will see, I guess. I'm going to tread cautiously with him. So, I have to go up here. So find the report. Geez, this is a big office. Or a meeting room. I do like how they've expanded the Imperial architecture. I've always liked the Imperial style of their houses. So here's the report. Duplicate copy of a report prepared by Centurion Felixia, intelligence officer assigned to the Cygnus Irregulars. We began looking into reports of a surviving member of the disgraced and disbanded Dragon Guard hiding in the wilderness of northern Elsweyr. First, in regards to Euraxia Tharn's interest, contacts in Rimmon inform us that she has ordered a thorough search of the Royal Archives to turn up every scrap of information the Khajiit have gathered on the subject. It seems that the legends pertaining to the Order's ancient origins as dragon hunters of renown has caught her imagination. Whether this is because the dragons are also interested in the matter, we have yet to ascertain. Consulting with moonsingers has turned up contradictory information. One keeper of stories claims that an entire Dragon Guard Legion has been hiding in the scar since the dragons disappeared in the ancient past. Another tells me that a single caretaker remains, guarding the secret of the ancient order in a hidden sanctuary. Contacts in the Mages Guild confirm that records kept by the Magisters acknowledge that the Dragon Guard do trace their practices to those of the Archiviri dragon hunters of old. And while most of the Order gave up those traditions after the dragons disappeared to become guardians of the emperors, some documents claim that a small number continued to train in the old ways to keep the knowledge of dragon fighting alive in the event of their return. Here's a promising lead. A contact at the Stitches claims to have visited a hidden Archiviri shrine deep in the Western Scar. Stories told over drinks claim the place is haunted and studded with deadly traps. Some also indicate that a single Dragon Guard, the last surviving member of the Order, they claim, maintains the shrine and waits for the day when the Order will once more be needed. Huh.
I see you found the report. Now we can continue our conversation without being separated by those inconvenient bars.
How did you get out?
Ah, there you are. And I see you've captured Prefect Kalo. I presume he surrendered without a fight?
About that? I left him in the cage. What is this?
Don't look so shocked. My irregulars are very good at what they do. It was simple enough for them to sneak in and set me free. Now, what did you learn from the report? Anything that will help us stop Captain Solinia and her assassination squad?
Us? Why would you want to help stop the assassination of the Dragon Guard?
As I said, we were never willing participants in Euraxia's conquest of northern Elsweyr. My irregulars did as little as possible to advance her agenda, and we worked to sabotage it as often as not. Besides, have you forgotten about the dragons?
I believe him, but I'm still cautious to trust him. What about the dragons?
The dragons won't stop after they kill or subjugate the Khajiit. We're in as much danger as everyone else. If Lord Garesh-Ri pardons my soldiers, we'll help fight the dragons. But we're going to need the Dragon Guard. Do you know where he is?
Ooh, they could be good allies. But I'm still cautious. The reports suggest the last Dragon Guard is hiding in an Akaviri shrine in the Scar. Why would I tell him that? I still don't know if I could trust him.
Grand Chancellor, I propose that you get Garesh-Ri to pardon the Cygnus Irregulars so we can form an alliance.
An alliance? Interesting. Comrades would be helpful in the battles to come.
Yeah?
I'll return to Rimmon, plead Kalo's case, and send someone to help you. Meanwhile, I suggest you start your search for the shrine at the Stitches.
Huh.
I'll take the Prefect to Rimmon and see if I can negotiate an alliance between him and Chimera. We could use the help, but I'm not sure our young queen will agree. Meanwhile, you need to go to the Scar and find that shrine before the assassins do.
Let's hope you can convince Chimera, because Kalo would be a good ally, if his words are true. Did you learn anything important here in the manor?
Well, news of Euraxia's death has reached her mercenaries. For the most part, they've decided that Zumog Foom is their new leader, and they're willing to do whatever the dragons say. I suppose they think that's better than being eaten.
Yeah, true, but do you think we can trust Prefect Kalo?
Trust? We'll have to see. From what I've learned here in the manor, though, it's evident that Kalo and his irregulars have no love or respect for Euraxia's mercenaries. That counts for something.
Yeah, I want to believe that he's trustful. I hope we're not making a mistake here. I really hope we're not.
Mistakes happen. They're a fact of life. But Prefect Kalo is a trained Imperial soldier. I know his type well. Unlike the Euraxian mercenaries, he'll be as good as his word. And if not, I'll turn him into a mud crab.
Yep, I can live with that. I hope you're trustful, Kalo. I hope you are.
Captain Solinia and her assassins left the estate shortly before you arrived. If you're gonna catch them before they find and kill the last Dragon Guard, you really ought to get a move on.
How do I know that we can trust you?
I've been nothing but helpful since you met me. Besides, I give you my word as an Imperial officer. I pledge myself and the Cygnus Irregulars to the service of the new Khajiit Queen for the duration of the dragon infestation.
Wow. I can believe those words. I believe you. And then what happens?
Then? I haven't given it much thought. To tell you the truth, I don't expect us to survive whatever it is the dragons are up to. If we happen to find a way to win the day, I'll extend my offer of an alliance for as long as the Queen will have us.
Wow. I can believe that. You must have some idea where this hidden Akaviri shrine is located.
Just what was in the report. No. Wait a moment. There was something else. I didn't connect the two until just now. A merchant in the Stitches was selling actual Akaviri relics. Claimed to have found them in a cave in the western section of the Scar.
Huh. Do you know how Euraxia and the dragons wound up working together?
As you can probably guess, Euraxia didn't go out of her way to consult with me, especially after I refused to turn over command of the Irregulars. From what I gathered, she and her necromancer, Zumag Fum, had or knew something the dragons wanted.
Any idea what that might have been?
Most likely something that Zumag Fum has promised to deliver, seeing as he's still in league with the dragons. I couldn't figure out what it was, but it must have something to do with the creepy floating head that follows the necromancer around.
The betrayer. So yeah, Kalo, I want to trust him, but part of me is still cautious. But he did make that oath of pledging his allegiance. So yeah, this is getting real interesting. We have to go to the Stitches to find out where this last dragon guard may be. But I'm going to end this one here and we will continue on in the next one. I will see you around. Thanks for watching.